Hello all, how are you? Welcome to video lecture series on the concrete technology. And today we would like to discuss about the chemical admixture. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Anand Chaturvedi. I'm currently working as assistant professor in the Department of Civil Engineering. So today we'll talk about concrete, and basically we'll focus on the chemical admixture in concrete, and we'll see what admixture is actually. Okay, so let's start chemical admixture. So before that, I would fully acknowledge that whatever is there in the slide, it has been taken from the technical papers, different sources, and some works from the different authors. So originally for the purpose of dissemination of knowledge to the student. So these things are fully acknowledged. Okay. So what is chemical admixtures? And before that, what is admixture? So as you can see here, it is admixture is a name itself suggests that adding something to the mixture. So here our mixture is all about the concrete mix, which is made of water, aggregate means coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, and cement. So whatever we add during the production of concrete mixture, apart from the water, cement, and coarse and fine aggregate, that is known as admixture. So as it is written over here, that first point, admixtures are the chemicals added to concrete, mortar or grout at the time of mixings to modify property either in plastic stage or after it is hardened. So basically later on when we proceed in the chapter, we'll let you know how it affects the plastic concrete as well as hardened concrete, and you already know what is plastic concrete and what is hardened concrete. So it can be single admixture or it can be blend of so many things. So admixture and additive. So there is a difference between admixture and additive. So before we proceed further, we should know what is admixture and what is additive. So at first point, it is written over here. See, admixture is defined as material other than cement, water, aggregate that is used as an ingredient of concrete and is added to the batch immediately. This is the underline. Batch immediately before and during the mixing. So either before or during the mixing. Additives are the materials which is added at the time of grinding cement. So means when we manufacture the cement, at that time whatever we add, like gypsum we add for the setting times, so that time that work as a additive, but here we are going to produce mix in a batch, so that time whatever we add, that is known as admixture. So we have basically two type of admixture. So first one is, you can see over here, first one is a chemical admixture and second one is mineral admixture. So we'll discuss one by one. So chemical admixture is basically plasticizer, super plasticizer, retarder and retarding plasticizer, accelerator and accelerating plasticizer, air interning admixtures, and some other special type of admixtures that we'll see one by one. So mineral admixtures are the fly ash, blast furnace slag, silica fume, metacholine, rice husk. So these things are the mineral admixtures, which is, you can say, it is a pozzolanic materials. And pozzolana, we have already discussed what pozzolana is, what is pozzolanic material, and what is the theory behind the pozzolanic reactions and normal chemical reactions in the hydration process of the cement. So these are the few timelines. Plasticizers we started use from 1932, air entraining admixtures 1942. Super plasticizer is basically, it is a plasticizer but having its high efficiency, that is super plasticizer. So we will discuss one by one what is super plasticizer and what is plasticizer and what its difference is. So first questions which might be coming in your mind, that what is the reason of adding admixture? If the cement, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate and water can produce a better mix by selecting an appropriate design process, then why there is a need of adding some extra things? Okay, so the reason for using admixtures. So let us understand one by one. So point number one, to achieve certain property in concrete more effectively than other mean. So basically sometimes whatever we are trying to produce, like whatever type of workability we needed, how much water cement ratio is needed, so managing all those parameters, so we add admixtures, like if we need certain workability, and let's say if we are, later on we will understand, let's say we are adding directly water, then although workability, you can say that time fluidity can be increased, but at the same time it will disturb the water cement ratio. So that's why first point is there, to achieve certain property in concrete more effectively. Okay, so more effectively, how it is more effectively, that we'll understand at a later stage. Second point, to maintain the quality of concrete during stage of mixing, transporting, placing, compacting. So quality is like if I have a batching plant which is, let's say, 15 kilometers from our site. So we are producing our mix in a batching plant and it is taking maybe 45 minutes or 30 minutes for a loader to bring the material from the batching plant to the site. So meanwhile, whatever workability we have created at the time of batching process, since time has been elapsed around 30 to 45 minutes, then slump can be lost. So to maintain those slump loss, so that it won't happen, and other property also, we need to add admixtures. So that's why it is saying during the compactions, placing, transportation, curing and all. Okay, to overcome certain emergencies during concrete operations. So certain emergency can also be overcome. To reduce the cost of concrete constructions, let's say if you are adding let's say 1% of admixtures, and because of adding these admixtures, if some amount of water or cement or other thing can be reduced, then of course it would be cost effective. Okay, yeah. So next point is these are the some classifications based on the ASTM classification of chemical admixtures. So like we said, chemical admixture is plasticizers, super plasticizers, air entraining, water reducing. So in America, like ASTM means American Society of Testing Materials, classify these admixtures in these following way, from type A to type G. So it is nothing but type A means it is water reducing, type B means retarder, type C is accelerator, type D is water reducers and retarder, type E is water reducer and accelerator. Type E is just like super plasticizer or high range water reducer, and G is also super plasticizer. So classifications, that was the classifications based on STM standards, and here again classification based on action, means how it is going to perform in the concrete mix based on its actions. How would you classify? So we classify in this way. First one is chemical interaction in hydration, accelerator or retarder. You know, hydration process is core or heart of the hardening or setting of the cement and concrete as well. So if something is gonna change the hydration process, that will definitely affect the its characteristic in hardened as well as in plastic stage. Okay, so chemical interactions in hydrations. Second point is absorptions on cement surface causing better particle dispersions. So plasticizer and super plasticizer, how it works? Basically action we are going to see in a later slide. Third one is affecting surface tension of water. So it affects surface tension of water as well. Affecting the rheology of water, it affects the rheology of water. Do you know what is rheology? So rheology is basically study of flow. If when you are going to study of flow of a fluid, that comes under the rheology. So it's not about the rheology of water. It can be rheology of bitumen, it can be rheology of honey, it can be rheology of some other material also. Means we are studying the behavior of flow of a particular liquid. So viscosity modifier, it comes under, and some special chemical acting on a hardened. Okay, so now we will discuss plasticizer. Okay, we will discuss the plasticizer. So plasticizer, it is basically water reducing agent. So point number one, yeah, so concrete is different. Concrete in different situations require different degree of workability. Of course, let's say if you are doing mass concreting, so it requires the higher workability as compared to if we are doing the RCC works, or if there is a very congested reinforcements. So if reinforcement is very congested, at that time also the workability should be less, so that it can go up to the lower level bottom soffit of the beam or column. So so what was the conventional method to increase the workability? Yes, so for obtaining high workability in conventional method, what we could have done? Basically by improving the gradations, increase the proportion of fine aggregate, increase the cement content. Okay, so these are the some conventional method. But when we are changing the cement contents, when we are changing the fine aggregate proportions, then it is not only changing the workability, but it changing the other parameters also, and which are more important. So for the sake of getting a particular workability, we are changing other parameter also, which is not a good. So third points, there are yeah, difficulties and limitation to obtain high workability in the field for a given set of conditions. Of course, so you are adding only water, and which is changing others parameter also, like water cement ratio. Subsequently it will change the strength of concrete also. So that is unmindful. So because of that, you can say that it is a unengineering way to use extra water. Okay, so addition of excess water will only improve the fluidity. Yeah, it is a very good statement, let me underline. Yeah, So addition of excess water will only improve the fluidity or the consistency but not the workability of concrete. Very good points. So at this time I think we should also understand what is different between fluidity and what is workability. So I already told you that fluidity is not a workability, it is just a consistency. So let's say I am doing a mass concreting. So when we are doing a mass concreting, we need high workability so that we can place it easily or compact easily. But in the RCC we do not require that much workability, so we need little hard mix. But in mass concreting, so we need lean mix. So in that scenario, let me minimize it. Yeah. So addition of excess water will only improve the fluidity or consistency but not the workability. Of course, because workability is a job specific, workability is for particular compaction and vibrations. So excess water will not improve inherent good qualities such as homogeneity, cohesiveness, which reduce the tendency of segregation and building. Of course, point number 2, when we are adding the excess water, of course little bit consistency it is increasing, but at the same time the water cement ratio is getting changed, the cohesiveness and homogeneity is getting changed. So because of that, let's say if you are pouring the concrete, segregation and bleeding will take place. So point number 1, to reduce the quantity of mixed water content usually by 5 to 10% or sometimes up to 15%. So this is the range of plasticizer, up to 5 to 10% or sometimes in adverse conditions up to 15% we can reduce the water. So one thing is clear that plasticizer is water reducing agent, we can reduce the water without affecting other property. Allow reduction in water cement ratio while retaining the desirable workability. Even what was happening when we did not use plasticizer, and instead of plasticizer, for increasing the workability, if you added more water, though it has given the proper workability, but at the same time, since water has increased, so for a particular amount of cement, water cement ratio has also been increased, and which is undesirable situation. So here when we added the plasticizer, then it allow reduction in water cement ratio. Why? Because you have reduced the water, so overall water cement ratio will reduce, and which will increase the strength, but it will give the desirable workability which was required. At a given water cement ratio, let's say if we freeze the water cement ratio, reduced cement content may make economical low. So here if water cement ratio is fixed and you are reducing the cement, so of course it would be economical. Improve the workability at a given water cement ratio, it is improving the workability also for a particular water cement ratio. Improve the workability of concrete, and sometimes we need pumpable concrete, so that time also we can add water reducing agent so that it can increase the workability without any segregation. Because when you construct multi-story buildings, maybe 10th floor, 15th floors, then concretes up to there go by two method, either pumpable concretes, we provide pumpable concrete and it go up to the 15th floors by the pump. We use pump at the ground and it push the materials and it goes up to the 15th floor. So at that time also we need to use the plasticizer. So before that we discussed about the plasticizers. So let's understand mechanism of plasticizer. So this is water cement ratio. When water mix with cement or cement and water mix, it has tendency to flocculate. Flocculate means different small packets it forms. Okay, so if flocculation is like this, so water would be entrapped in between. Okay, so flocculation, that's why flocculation entraps certain amount of water. So all water is not available to fluidify the mix. So although you have sufficient amount of water, but few amount of water has been entrapped over here, you can see over here, and it is not gonna perform the hydration process, it is not gonna involve in the hydration process. So this is the magic of plasticizer. Let's understand next slide for better understanding. Yes, so here you can see mechanism of plasticizer. So what plasticizer does? You understood the effect of plasticizer, you understood how it affect the different property, but now let's understand how it gonna perform its action and how it is going to see its mechanism. So as we see in the just immediate earlier slide, that water and cement makes flocks. So you can see here, these are the flocks, okay, and some amount of water is entrapped in between. So these amount of water is no longer going to come in the hydration process, no longer would contribute in the chemical reaction of hydration process of water and cement. So since this amount of water has been entrapped, it means the workability would reduce. So let's say we added plasticizer. So how it will behave? Yeah. So when you added plasticizer, it will negatively charge the whole floc which has been formed from the cement and some limited water. So since every floc of cement grain is negatively charged, what it would do? It would try to repel. Okay, so when it will repel, what will happen? All the floc would go away and entrapped water would be available. Entrapped water would come out. So entrapped water, now it would be available for further reactions. So since whatever water has been entrapped over here, it would be available. Okay, whatever water has been entrapped over here, it would be available, and which will contribute in the hydration process of cement. So workability will increase. So this is the mechanism. So action of plasticizer in flow chart. First, what will do? Plasticizer added in concrete, it get absorbed on the cement particle. Okay, so lead repulsion, as we have seen, it lead repulsion. So causes deflocculations, release entrapped water. So more water is available to fluidify the mix. So these fluidity will increase the workability. So means the deflocculation phenomena occurs during the action of the plasticizer. You can see over here, these were the flocculated particles, and when it get negatively charged, it disperses itself and water is available for further process. That's why it will fluidify the mix. So the workability will enhance. So plasticizer as surface acting agent, negatively charged absorbs. So basically this is what we have seen over here. So this negatively charged, which makes the repulsive forces, is known as zeta potential. So you know, the higher would be the zeta potentials, the higher would be the repulsion. So entrapped water would come easily. But at the same time, there is one negative phenomena of retarding effect of the plasticizer. Why it happens? Because when you are adding the plasticizer get absorbed on the surface of cement particle, form a thin sheath. Basically it form a thin film over the flocculated particle grain of the cement. So because of this thin film, it prevent the hydration process as long as plasticizer molecule are present on the particle of what? Particle of cement. Hence retardation in the setting of the concrete. Okay. In flocculated cement, the touching surface of cement particle are not available for early hydration, only for early hydration. Okay. So because of that, plasticizer disperse them so large surface area available for hydration. So hydration progress at the rate of early age. So basically what it is trying to say, let me summarize, is that there is a negative phenomena of plasticizer also, because when you are adding, it is getting absorbed on the grains of the cement particle and which is restricting them for the hydration process. And since it is restricting them hydration process, so it will prevent them to set early, because hydration rate has been reduced, so setting would be increased. So early setting time would be basically increases. So early strength will also be reduced, because if it will not set, that then it will not get any strength. So initially, but as further by the time whatever the sheath has been formed, it will dissolve in the CSH gel, calcium silicate hydrate gel, which has been formed because of the hydration process. It is a product of hydration. So as soon as it will dissolve in that, further the reaction process will go on as usual. So but for the time being, in the initially, it will hamper the early strength and early setting time also. Okay. So in short, what all we have studied today? Yes. So we talked about the action, mechanism and use of chemical admixture. We talked how deflocculation actions prevails when we add admixture in the concrete mix, and how entrapped water would come out, which will be available for the further reaction, and it will enhance the workability. We have seen that initially it will hamper the hydration process, because this plasticizer or you can say chemical admixture get absorbed on the grain of the particles. So initially it will hamper, but as soon as product of hydration will form, it will dissolve in that product of hydration, and further reaction will take place. So this is how we have seen. We have only talked about the plasticizer, and which can reduce the water up to 5 to 10%. Even a small dosage of 1 to 2% can reduce 5 to 10%, and sometimes in adverse condition 15% also. Super plasticizer is just an advanced version of plasticizer, which can reduce water up to 25 to 30%. So overall, this is how the action of super plasticizer and chemical admixtures prevails in the concrete mix, and this is how it will affect its plastic property as well as hardened plastic property. So thank you for watching these lectures. In next lecture we will talk about the other varieties, other classification of the chemical admixture like plasticizer, super plasticizer and of course air entraining agent and some special chemical admixtures as well. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching the lecture.